Hey guys, happy Monday morning. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Welcome back. All right, let's talk about some things here. First off, this entire video is my opinion and should not be used for financial advice, okay? Now, as you guys know, I recently spoke with my Iraqi contact who does work for the Iraqi government. He did share some things with me that I'm just not at liberty to share with you guys. But I'm going to give you the generic side of it that gives you the key information that you guys need out of this, okay? So and one thing that he stressed to me right now is the news. There's just the general news that you're seeing is not enough news for any one of us to utilize to where we could try to use this current news or basic news as kind of a tool to try to guesstimate when the rate change can happen, okay? We have to look at the bigger picture in this, okay? That's right now, guys. That's why I'm not bringing you daily news. There's no point. You cannot use the daily news to guesstimate or gauge the progress or timing of the rate change. You cannot right now, okay? You have to look at the bigger picture. Let's do that, okay? So you have to follow the movement of the money. Okay, that's what we have to do, is we have to follow the movement of the money. All right. Now, going to what I would consider to be kind of the beginning in this, the CBI has made it very clear throughout the years, not just this year, not just last year, but I've seen it probably at least 4 or 5 different articles spanning across many different years, where the Central Bank of Iraq made it very clear that they could only change the rate at the beginning of a fiscal period. Okay. All right. Now, traditionally, Iraq's, while they've been under the Chapter 7 sanctions, their fiscal years have always been January through December. Okay. Now, I did a lot of research and I found out for you guys that Iraq was transitioning starting this year to a brand new budget fiscal year. Okay. Which is where they used to be, and which is where Kuwait's at today. So historically, Iraq's fiscal year was, and they're as of this year, they're now transitioning back to it because they're leaving the Chapter 7 sanctions. And again, I had this confirmed through my Iraqi contact who does work for the government, that Iraq, as of this year, starting this year, is transitioning back to their former fiscal year of April through March. Okay? So, now, Iraq, late last year, Iraq put out some key articles saying that their 2020 budget would have just huge things in it, reforms and new levels of taxes and all this and that. Basically, a lot of post-rate change stuff suggesting to us that the 2020 budget is linked or married. I like that word. Let's use married to the rate change. Okay? But yet, we never saw a 2020 budget. You know what that almost in a way confirms to me, guys? The fact that you have not seen a 2020 budget, to me, they've confirmed to you that the rate change that this 2020 budget is indeed married to the rate change, and that's why they cannot show it to you, reveal it to you, or utilize it just yet, because they're not ready. They cannot use it until they're ready because it's married to the rate change. That's why they have to hide the 2020 budget from you, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is you literally can almost use the 2020 budget as a tool, or the next budget as a tool to walk yourself to the timing of the rate change. Literally. That's why you have not seen a 2020 budget, because it's married to the rate change. And because they're not ready to change the rate, that's why they haven't shown you the budget. That's why they're hiding it from you guys. It's that simple now, okay? So, the latest news that we have now, the rate change right now, guys, can only go one of 2 directions. Okay, one of 2 directions. The current news, which is where they told us they're getting a bunch of loans and temporary money, which is being utilized to cover them through the first half of their current fiscal year. Okay, again, which is April through March. So the first half of their fiscal year goes April through the end of September, and that's the period they're getting loans and temporary money for. And then they've hinted to us that they're considering, okay, utilizing, again, that they're just hinting, they haven't said this as hard fact yet, that they're considering utilizing a semi-annual budget during the second half of the year. Again, we don't have that confirmed. That's just what they're suggesting or hinting to us right now in the news, okay, that they might utilize a semi-annual budget during the second half of the year, which would be October through March of next year, okay? Now, if they do, again, so this can only go one of two directions right now, okay? If they do implement a semi-annual budget October through March, then they're going to have to change the rate during the month of September of this year, okay? It's that simple, okay? But if they don't implement a semi-annual budget, this could get dragged out clear until March of next year, okay? So that's what we have to watch. So we have one of two scenarios. Either they're gonna do a semi-annual budget October through March, and we could see the rate change in late September, or they don't utilize any budgets at all and they drag this out until 2021, and we see the rate change, like I said, around March of next year, okay? But I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. Let's dive a little deeper into this. So I've given you one of two scenarios. Let's see what time period, whether it's the second half of this year or the first part of next year. Let's see what holds the most credibility, guys, because there actually is some good information pointing to the second half of this year, okay? Towards the end of June, okay, of this year, okay, which is right before Iraq's Q2 period. Q2 is their second half of their current fiscal year, okay? Right before Q2, they showed us the white papers, guys. That's the roadmap for the rate change. Okay? They showed us the white papers, which is the full game plan roadmap for the rate change in June. And then they even came out really studying and analyzing the exchange rate, okay, in great detail. The fact that they're studying and creating a roadmap and implementing a game plan for the rate change through the white papers, guys, the fact that they did that in June, that shows me they're probably preparing to, or suggest to me, again, my opinion, suggest to me they're probably preparing to change that rate, guys, during what would be their Q2. Again, their Q2 is July through September of this year, because they showed you the roadmap for it, and they studied the exchange rate in June, which is right before Q2, their Q2 of this year. Again, their Q2 is July through September. They're putting a game plan together, okay? They're putting together these. It's almost as if they're setting the stage to change the rate during their Q2 of this year, guys. That's why they would put out the white paper and study the exchange rate, guys. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. This Q2 of this year, right now, holds the most credibility. Okay, it holds the most credibility because of what we've seen factually in the news. Okay, so I'm very encouraged by this. But what I want to stress to you guys is there's nothing in the news you can see right now that's going to, absolutely nothing. There's nothing in the news that you can use or gauge as a barometer to walk you to the finish line right now. You have to look at it from a broader picture. Okay, you have to look at the movement of the money. That's why I told you, if you notice how they're getting loans right now, loans and temporary funds, and because they haven't shown you that 2020 budget or a budget, which is married to the rate change, they're hiding it from you for that reason. Okay, because they're hiding the budget from you, they're telling you it's married to the rate change. Okay, they're telling you right now they're not ready to change that rate. Okay, and that's why they're using temporary funds during the first half of their current fiscal year at this time. But they've hinted to us they're probably going to do a semi-annual budget, which is a 6-month budget, during the second half of this year, which again would be October through March. Okay. And to stronger support that, towards the end of June, they brought us the white paper and dove heavily into studying and analyzing the exchange rate towards the end of June, almost as if they may be preparing to possibly change the rate during Q2 of this year, which guys, in reality, I'm not giving you a date, but it would literally have to be September. Okay, it would have to be late September. That's why Kuwait did theirs in late March in preparation for a new fiscal period starting in April. Okay, so again, for Iraq, it would have to be late September, but I'm not giving you a date. Okay, I'm just bringing you facts from a broader level. But guys, that's where we're at. The news is amazing right now. None of us want to wait, but you know what? It's nice to know more about where you stand, okay, and where you're at in this than just, looking at this. There's other gurus telling you that you're going to have big announcements in July and blah, blah, blah. And there's other gurus telling you that Iraq has to be a sovereign nation to see the rate change. Guys, Iraq already is a sovereign nation. That doesn't have anything to do with the price of tea in China, okay? You have to look at this just through the real hard facts. But again, I wanted to stress to you, you can't use the current facts to walk yourselves to the finish line. You have to look at it from a broader picture. That's why I went into this with you, showing you the movement of the money, okay? The movement, watching the money move, seeing how they're handling money. What are they doing with money? Well, that's why I showed you right now. If you notice, they're getting they've already told us that they're getting temporary funds for the salaries pretty much clear through September of this year. That's temporary money. With temporary money in place, they're telling you they're not going to be changing the rate, okay? Because I want to show you the rate change is married to the budget. When you see them bring forth a budget, that's when you're going to see the rate change, guys, okay? It's that simple. Just follow the movement of a budget, and this will literally walk you right to the finish line. You're going to know when they're going to change rate. It either has to be September of this year or March of next year, guys. It's down to that cut and dry. That's why they're very clearly hiding a budget from you. Okay, it does not get any more cut and dry or easier than that. All right, there you guys go. But again, right now, the current facts favor this year more than ever, because that's why I wanted to show you what they did in Q2 of this year, or right before Q2 in June of this year. The white paper and the analyzing the exchange rate is a game plan, okay, and a form of setting the stage to strongly change the rate during Q2 of this year. It would have to be late September, though, okay, if that's when they even plan to do it. So there you guys go. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless. Take care.